do you say?
It's something he had said, and he said it. What if like people like me, live in the hood, born up.
Yeah.
People like me, are just I didn't have no choice to gangbang. People like me, and people just grew up in it, and our parents tried to keep us out of it, but we still constantly doing it.
So you saying, what if somebody like you grew up in the gang life, you were around it, your parents tried to keep you out, but you still gravitated towards it?
Because he was like around it his whole entire life.
Yeah. Get that, Exodus 21:2, 23:2. Let's see what the word of God says. Again, this goes back to what we were talking about, bad decisions. We're gonna hit this and then we're gonna touch on what sin is. Read that.
Exodus chapter 23 and verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil.
So check this out. We all have choices. Right. You make a choice whether or not you're gonna follow that gang or not. Right. There were kids that I grew up with that was into bad stuff. Don't get me wrong, I did some bad stuff myself, but I knew who to stay away from and who to get involved with. Right. Even if you're around that, you still can make the decision of who to stay away from and who to get involved with. Right. See what I'm saying? But again, these are some key things that the Word of God is telling us.
Right.
This is what the Bible tells us. Read that again.
Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment.
Right, so you shouldn't be following after them. The key thing I want from there is you don't have to follow them. You're making that decision. Right. Right? Wisdom of Solomon 4:10. Yep. So pay attention, James. Pay attention. Because we're going to touch on this and then we're going to touch on what sin is. Read that.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4 and verse 10. He pleased God and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners.
So Christ lived among sinners. He grew up in the hood. He grew up in Galilee. Galilee was no mean city. I mean Nazareth. I had it mixed up. He didn't grow up in a high, highly esteemed suburbs or nothing like that. He didn't grow up in a rich society. He didn't grow up around the wealthy.
Right.
He grew up in the hood.
Right. He pleased God and was beloved of him.
But he still pleased God and was beloved of him, even with those negative and evil examples around him.
Right.
Was that it?
So that living among sinners, he was translated.
So he lived among sinners, but he still followed the ways of the Lord.
That's right.
So now we have to ask ourselves, well, what is the ways of the Lord? What is the things that God doesn't want us to do? Give me that what sin is. 1 John 4:3, because I told y'all I would explain it, so I want to make sure I hit that, and then we got to wrap up.
There's a book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committed sin,
so whoever commits sin,
transgresseth also the law.
You break the laws of God. So James, what did he just say sin is?
Broke the laws of God.
You broke the laws of God. Read it.
Right. For sin is the transgression of the law.
So even in the New Testament, it talked about sin. So you still have to keep the laws.
Right.
Sin is when you break the commandments. So when we talked about the Sabbath, you still have to do that. Right. If you break it, you're in sin.
Right.
If you walk around and you're worshiping this image, Brother James, if you worship this image of Christ, or you have this in the church and you follow that, that's sin, because this is idolatry.
Right.
If you smoke weed, you get high, you're in sin. Sister, you wearing pants, that's a sin.
Right.
Deuteronomy 22:5 tells you that. I know you didn't know that. I'm letting you know now.
Yeah.
You understand? You gotta be wearing dresses.
Yeah.
Alright? But key thing is you are the Israelites and you must keep the commandments and the faith in Christ. And that's how we're gonna fix our community, alright?
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.